In a moment that's both shocking and deeply human, country music superstar Jelly Roll has shared a story that reminds us fame and success don't always shield you from prejudice. The chart-topping singer, who's currently on his Down Under 2025 tour, revealed he was profiled while shopping at a Louis Vuitton store in Sydney. In an emotional Instagram post, he described being treated like a potential criminal simply because of his appearance. The Louis Vuitton in Sydney legitimately just treated us like we were fitting to come in and rob that place, he said. His voice carried a mix of disbelief and frustration. The last time I was looked at like a criminal this bad, I was an actual criminal this bad. Those words struck a chord with millions who followed his journey, from incarceration to inspiration. Jelly Roll's story has always been one of transformation, resilience, and redemption. But this latest encounter offers a sobering reminder that no matter how far you rise, the world still judges by the surface. At 40 years old, Jelly Roll, born Jason Bradley DeFord, stands as one of country music's most relatable figures. He's not just known for his soulful, gritty voice and chart-topping hits. He's known for his honesty. He's spent years telling his story through songs that blend pain, hope, and redemption. His fans know about his rough past, the arrests, the time spent behind bars, and the hard lessons learned along the way. But they've also watched his transformation into a symbol of second chances. He's won 3 CMT Music Awards, the CMA for Best New Artist in 2023, and the hearts of millions who see themselves reflected in his raw storytelling. That's what made his experience in Sydney so jarring to fans. This was a man who had fought hard to rebuild his life, now being judged once again, not for who he is today, but for how he looks. Tattoos, after all, tell a story. And for Jelly Roll, they're not marks of rebellion anymore, but reminders of where he's been. The irony of the situation isn't lost on anyone. Here's an artist performing sold-out shows across Australia, inspiring thousands night after night, yet being made to feel like he didn't belong in an upscale store. On social media, fans have rallied behind him, calling the incident a clear case of class and appearance-based profiling. Some have drawn attention to the broader issue, how society still clings to stereotypes, especially when it comes to people with tattoos or unconventional backgrounds. Others pointed out how Jelly Roll handled the situation with characteristic grace. Frustrated, yes, but reflective, using the experience to shed light rather than fuel anger. He's been open about his criminal past before, but this time, his message felt even deeper. People can change, but judgment often doesn't. And that's the conversation his fans are now having online, not just about him, but about what it means to truly see people for who they are. But Jelly Roll's story doesn't end there. This year has been one of the most transformative of his life, physically, emotionally, and professionally. Over the past year, he shed nearly 200 pounds, a staggering change that left fans speechless when he appeared in Sydney, visibly slimmer and radiating confidence. At his heaviest, he weighed over 550 pounds. Now, at around 357 pounds, he says his transformation was born not out of vanity, but survival. "I had to do this for my health, for my family, and for my future," he said in interviews. His journey to wellness hasn't been easy. He's spoken candidly about his battles with food addiction, depression, and substance abuse, struggles that once kept him trapped in cycles of self-destruction. But with the help of his wife, Bunny XO, and the unwavering support of his fans, Jelly Roll found the strength to rebuild himself from the inside out. His approach to health has been as real as his music. No quick fixes, no miracle diets. He's embraced high-intensity workouts, strict nutrition, and most importantly, mental health therapy. For Jelly Roll, the weight loss isn't just a physical milestone. It's a reflection of a man reclaiming his life. He shared that the biggest challenge wasn't the scale, it was the mindset. Years of emotional eating and addiction had conditioned him to seek comfort in self-destructive habits. Overcoming that meant confronting the emotional roots of his pain, a process he says was both painful and liberating. His transformation has inspired countless fans who see his journey as proof that change is possible, no matter how daunting it seems. And as he steps onto the world stage for his first ever international tour, his story of resilience carries even more weight. Still, not all of Jelly Roll's headlines have been about personal triumphs. Recently, he found himself at the center of a controversy involving faith, music, and authenticity. The issue began when fellow musician Forrest Frank, known for his faith-inspired music, declined nominations from Christian Music Awards. Jelly Roll publicly questioned the move, saying, "If you're gonna sing about Jesus, then don't run from the people giving you flowers." His comment quickly went viral, sparking a heated debate across social media and within the music industry. Some praised him for defending sincerity in faith-based art, while others accused him of overstepping. Forrest Frank later clarified that his decision was personal, rooted in humility rather than rejection. Still, the moment ignited a larger conversation about the role of faith in music and whether authenticity should be measured by awards, intent, or impact. Jelly Roll's involvement added emotional weight to the debate, as he's long credited his faith as a guiding force in his recovery and success. What's undeniable is that Jelly Roll has become more than just a performer. He's a voice for those who felt overlooked, judged, or written off. His authenticity resonates deeply in a culture hungry for something real. When he sings about pain, it's not abstract, it's lived experience. When he talks about redemption, it's not just lyrics, it's testimony. His fans, many of whom have faced addiction, mental health challenges, or social stigma, see him as proof that it's never too late to change. That's why incidents like the one at Louis Vuitton strike such a nerve, because they remind us how quickly people forget the human behind the image. Jelly Roll's response, however, shows just how far he's come. Instead of reacting with rage, he used his platform to turn a moment of humiliation into one of reflection, asking the world to think twice before judging someone's story by how they look. As his Down Under 2025 tour continues, Jelly Roll's message seems to be resonating more powerfully than ever. His shows in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane have drawn massive crowds, with fans praising his emotional performances and candid interactions. Local media have been equally captivated, not just by his music, but by his humility. During a media appearance at Sydney Harbour, he thanked fans for believing in a man who didn't believe in himself for so long. It's a statement that perfectly captures his journey, one built not on perfection, but persistence. And while his Louis Vuitton experience may have been a low point, it only reinforces the themes that define his art: resilience, forgiveness, and the fight to be seen for who you truly are. In the end, Jelly Roll's story is about transformation in every sense of the word. A man who turned pain into purpose, judgment into understanding, and mistakes into milestones. From selling mixtapes out of his car to selling out arenas across continents, he's living proof that redemption isn't just possible, it's powerful. His encounter in Sydney may have exposed prejudice, but it also reignited conversations about empathy and respect. And maybe that's the real takeaway. Because for Jelly Roll, every experience, good or bad, becomes another verse in the song of his life. A song that reminds us all, you can't control how the world sees you, but you can control how you rise above it. And right now, Jelly Roll is doing just that. One song, one city, and one story at a time.